everyone. Day 901, walking 5 miles every single day at age 67 and a half. Quick quote from Jonathan Swift. May you live every day of your life. Now, we all live, small L-I-V-E, until we're not living anymore. That's pretty much common sense. But how many of us live, L-I-V-E, all caps, every day of our lives? I know I hadn't for years and years and years. All I was doing was going through the motions, fighting depression, changing jobs, putting a serious strain on my family, and just, it was awful. And that wasn't that long ago that I finally figured it out. It's very few people live, capital L-I-V-E, every day of their life. Even all these people that you see on social media, and again, take social media with a grain of salt. All these people putting on these beautiful shows on social media, they got problems. Trust me. We all have our small caps, if that's such a thing, L-I-V-E. And the worst thing that we can do is to go on social media and see where a friend, I use that lightly, has gone on this glorious vacation and has bought this magnificent car or beautiful multi-million-dollar house. Is that reality? Maybe. Are they living with capital caps, L-I-V-E caps? I don't know. There are so many people out there chasing the buck, and God knows I was ahead of the pack for well over 50 years. All I cared about was the Benjamins, finding a new, better way to put money in the bank. And it's a miserable existence. You're not living that way, all caps. And I'm still guilty of it as of today to a certain point, because in my job, I'm extremely competitive with the other salespeople, and I want to be number one. That's a personality asset or liability, depending on how you want to look at it. I look at it as an asset, because I do have to have Benjamins in the bank in order to pay rent, pay the bills, car payment, all that kind of stuff. So it's really a double-edged sword when you actually think about it. Are you living or are you living? I'm choosing for the last 901 days to live. L-I-V-E, all caps. Because the first 2/3 of my life just weren't working. How my marriage has stayed intact, God only knows. And I'm at a loss for words. That's usually hard for me. I just think it's so important to find whatever it is. I say this every day, but find that one thing that'll make you live, with a capital L-I-V-E. And we all have those little voices in our head that are yelling at us to do this, to do that. And why don't we do it? Fear. There's no other word for it. It's fear. You know what the acronym FEAR is? False evidence appearing real. False evidence appearing real. Our mind is our most powerful muscle in our body. I talked about that the other day. And it is always going to take the path of least resistance. What we have to do is start controlling our mind and take the path of most resistance, and that's where you start living. Again, is this fun? 901 days in a row? No, not at all. I think there are much more things I'd rather be doing. I can't think of one right now. So I urge you to maybe sit down quietly with yourself and say, do I want to live or do I want to live? And ball up that fist when you say it. You want to live. These people walking around here think I'm nuts. But that is the word of the day, is live. Live your life. And once again, it doesn't have to be walking. It doesn't have to be physical. It can be mental. It can be emotional. It can be spiritual. Whatever. Don't just sit on the couch and wait to die. There are so many people who are working and working and working and working, and that great day comes for retirement. Then what? Then what? The way I've always viewed retirement is pretty much pre-death. If all you're going to do is sit around on the couch, and this is going to offend some people, I'm sorry, but this is just the way I feel about it. If you're going to sit around on the couch eating Doritos, drinking Mountain Dew, and I love Doritos and Mountain Dew, is that living or is that living? Is that living or is it living? I think it's the latter. So for those of you who are retired, I hope I didn't offend you, but that's just the way I feel about it. I don't think I'll ever retire. I'm gonna do 2 videos and walk 5 miles per day, probably to the day I die. And that will give me the opportunity to live. So as you go through the weekend, think about that for a minute. May you live every day of your life. It will make a difference that money cannot buy, that fame cannot buy, and you will be on the path to being the real you. Y'all have a great day. Peace.